Assalamu alaikum guys. In today's lecture I'm going to describe or differentiate the different accounting terminologies, as we are familiar with two accounting systems, that one is the American accounting system and one is the British one. The American follows the GAAP, that is the generally accepted accounting principles, while the British follows the IFRS, that is the International Financial Reporting System. Here, mostly in the countries or the states or the regions that does not lie under the states of or the government of American or British, for example, here in Pakistan, India, etc. So we use either the American system or we follow the British accounting system. There are some terms that are basically the same. There is no difference in such concepts, but there are differences over the uh, American and the British terminologies. So in this lecture I will try to elaborate, I will try to differentiate the terms, that is only the terms. There is the difference of terms while they both refer to the same thing. For example, in the American system, according to the, for example, GAAP, we use the term allowances for doubtful accounts, while British uses the provision for the bad debts. These both are same thing. There is only the difference of the terminology. So you need not to confuse that whether these are different terms or not. Similarly, for example, according to the American terms, they use account payables, while the British use the creditors or the trade creditors. On the other hand, for example, the uh, the American uses, for example, closing inventory, while the British uses the closing stock. The Americans uses the common stock, they use the ordinary shares. The American uses the credit memorandum, while the British uses basically the credit note. American uses the corporation, while the British uses the term company. The American uses the fiscal period, while they use the accounting period, and so on. For example, the Americans uses the net income, while the British uses the net profit. The Americans uses the income statement, while they call the same statement as the profit and loss account. The American uses the word stock, while the same thing is denoted as share by the British terminologies. So there are a lot of other terminologies which are being used differently by the American and the British, but they have the same meaning. So these are the some important terms that one needs to keep in mind, that there is nothing there is no difference between the terms. There is no difference between the concepts. There is only the difference in the terminologies. So for example, the British uses mostly the term company, while the American uses the corporation. So there is no difference. This refers to the same thing. There is only the difference of the term. So one needs to be careful while understanding such sorts of the accounting terminologies and better understanding the accounting concepts. Hope this video will help you in understanding the accounting concepts.